Hey everybody, Matt Michaels and Sin City Steve here on the Vegas Badboyz of Podcasting. We might be joined by Mr. Rob Barnles.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, Rob Boss will join us later on.
Yeah. But the um, you know, this is usually wrestling talk, getting into the weaker wrestling. But yesterday there was a little pay-per-view or a premium live event called the Royal Rumble.
Exactly. Don't dead name it, man. It's not a pay-per-view. It's a PLE.
That's right. I'm using Vince McMahon language, aren't I? Which is on PC right now. But the Rumble took place, and a lot of interesting thoughts and opinions out there in the world of the interwebs. So, Steve, let's start with let's not talk about the matches, the Rumble matches themselves right away, but let's talk about the rest of the card. What stuck out to you as anything you might have enjoyed, or anything that might have been a little lackluster?
I mean, as far as the four-way, I thought that it was very interesting placement that match went on second.
Well, it's because Roman had to fucking get home.
He had to get up in the skybox, as we found out.
Yeah.
So, but in all seriousness, I think that the placement of the match was interesting. No one in their right mind really took any of those other guys seriously, that they were actually going to win this match. And I think that, unfortunately, you've got a guy in there like AJ Styles who, for lack of better description, everyone assumed, or a lot of people assumed, that he would be taking the fall. Because obviously Randy Orton just coming back, so they're not going to want to have him to eat the pin. And they're going to be doing things with LA Knight. That much is obvious. They don't want to have him take another pin in a match with Roman Reigns. So who else is there? AJ Styles. And yeah, this match was about as paint by numbers as you can get. It really didn't impress me. And I know I'm going to have people saying, oh, the AEW guy didn't like a Roman Reigns match. Imagine that. Well, yeah, you can take from it whatever you'd like. This was actually not in the upper tier of Roman Reigns matches, in my opinion. There have been other Roman Reigns matches that I've enjoyed. This was definitely not one of them. The thing that I can say is, as far as the winners across the board, and I know that you said that we're not going to talk about the Rumble matches just yet, but the winners of all the matches were pretty safe bets, quite honestly. But that makes them not that doesn't diminish any of those wins by any of those people. As we've said numerous times, and as I've said numerous times on this show, the safe bet is a lot of times the logical bet. And it showed. Say what you will about the entire show from beginning to end. There were some missteps. There were some things that overachieved. Quite honestly, I thought the women's Royal Rumble match was the best women's Royal Rumble match that they've had, in terms of the layout, in terms of all of that kind of stuff. I think that across the board, this show was a mixed bag, and it definitely did set the stage for Mania. Coming out of the show, we definitely know what our marquee match is going to be, and that is going to be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, as it should be.
Jim makes a good point here. Being this close to Hogan's record, Reigns isn't going to lose until he surpasses Hogan.
God, I hope not. Seriously, quite honestly, what does that do for the Cody Rhodes character at the end of the day? If you're genuinely trying to do anything with him and position him, he's going to lose so much in the way of crowd support. And people just won't be able to take him seriously. Winning 2 Rumbles, going to Mania, losing both times to Roman Reigns, he has to win this match.
But it's an interesting dilemma because the
Definitely.
idea of him having to win the match is, almost it's almost counterproductive because it's a no-win, right? Because you're gonna have people who are gonna say, well, obviously he's gonna win. He had to win. He couldn't have lost. Then you have people, if he loses, go, well, he should have won. This is ridiculous. There's no way to win. Um, what's interesting is two things. One, if Cody wins the match, then he's the one who prevents Roman from breaking Hogan's record. So that could be a
That
beneficial
could
thing,
play in.
right?
Yeah.
You
I
could
didn't even think about that. That could.
right, and that makes him a bigger star, because Roman doesn't need the really, it's a fucking superficial, stupid record anyway. No one ever fucking says, "Oh, Hogan's the longest reigning champion in the history of,
Right.
of time of a one, singular time span." Um, so no one really keeps up with that. And I think that in the end, what's interesting is that if you're going to do anything to, uh, downpeg Roman a bit, uh, Cody has to be the one to win it, right? You couldn't do anyone else. Like people who say Sami Zayn should have won, fucking insane. They're stupid. People who think that LA Knight should have won. It's not. That's not the Cody Rhodes is a made man, right? He's the only other person outside of Austin and uh, Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan to win back-to-back Rumbles in 37 years. So he's a made superstar. Um, and that's something that makes a lot of sense, is that if you're elevating him, Reigns is the one to do it. Well, all right. Jim says it's never going to come close to San Martino's record, so it's pointless to keep it on Reigns. It's true, but the other thing is that Bruno San Martino means nothing to almost anyone now, right? San Martino's record, no one fucking even knows about it unless you're 90 years old, Jim. So that's what it comes down to, is that yeah, San Martino's records, it's never going to be touched. It shouldn't be touched because that was also a regional thing. You weren't doing a weekly show, you weren't doing the house shows or around the country, etc., etc. So it's a different era. And speaking of speaking of jokes here, uh, it's been fun watching Rob try to get his camera all situated. This has been really amusing to me because I'm the only one who can see it. Look at this guy.
Yo, can you hear me?
There he is. There he is. On
Yeah, we
location.
can hear you. Where are you? Like Kandahar or
I'm
Kuwait
in
or
Kandahar. Yeah, well, closing manager. You told me, yeah, tell them you got the COVID excuse. I was the manager, so I can't give myself the COVID excuse to myself.
Trust me, I know how that is. Believe me.
I'm catching
yeah,
the end of
well,
this. I agree 1,000,000,000% with what you're saying. Those numbers are inflated as all hell. They mean nothing and they make no sense.
right. And Cody, so it makes sense for Cody to be the one to end it. I also would not be totally surprised if somehow The Rock is the one who costs Reigns in some way. Now, not legitimately to where you say,
Who
well,
would cost him?
The Rock, because it's going to be Rock versus
Oh, yeah.
Reigns.
Yeah,
at
probably at
some point.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, SummerSlam or one of those shows coming up. Or I doubt it's going to last a year until Mania. But
I'll say this, and I don't know if you guys covered this. The men's Royal Rumble was a recipe. It was A plus B equals C. We knew we were getting to C, which was Cody. We were always going to get to that answer. So everything that happened, the whole point of the Rumble should have been the entertainment in the middle for the men's. It used to be Pete Rose would come out and get chokeslammed by Kane. Then they did Kofi Kingston hanging on for dear life, and they didn't do that this year. He got eliminated quick.
Yeah, he did.
They were just like, all right, let's hurry it up, wrap it up. The women's Royal Rumble was entertaining start to finish.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was something I mentioned. I think that, in my opinion, this was the best women's Royal Rumble match that they've had so far.
And again, like I said, I don't know if you covered it, just got in. When they did Mickie James as the TNA or the Impact Knockouts champion, you kind of felt like, okay, we're tossing her a bone because she's a WWE royalty legend, whatever you want to call it. To do Jordynne Grace was out of left field. I was like, whoa.
That was awesome. That's something that not used to seeing from WWE, is them playing nice with the other kids on the playground. And yeah, and the thing is, she was in there for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And when she stood up to Bianca Belair and the two locked eyes, I was like, hairs standing up.
Yeah.
That's what I want from my wrestling. I want to be excited nonstop. If the announcers can't do it for me, thank God for Pat McAfee. But if the announcers cannot get the hair standing up on the back of my skin, you're losing me. The men's was boring. The men's was, he went over the top.
Hey, Rob,
yeah.
Can you just walk us through your feelings as number 28 of the women's Royal Rumble hit and Jade Cargill made her debut?
Oh my God! The wall was coated. It was like Scary Movie 1 where he nuts. It was just like, oh God! But here's the thing. What did I say about it? She has to be main freaking roster. What did they do last night? They delivered. If by some asinine sense of some weird code, do they give Shawn Michaels a bone and throw their best new talent on Team Gold, I will personally murder Hickenbacker because he's an idiot.
First of all, who the fuck is Hickenbacker? It's Hickenbottom.
Shawn Michaels. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. That's how little I care about who he is.
Yeah, okay, Hobokener.
But this is my thing. I wanted to mention one thing about her. She took that spill to the ring post. I don't know if it was a work, but she was grabbing on her head for a good hot minute, and I'm like, did she really get concussed day one? That scared me a bit because she was grabbing onto her head, and the cameras kept panning away from her. So you could kind of tell when someone's kayfabing it up and when, oh shit, she got injured out the gate. Not good.
Where someone needs more training before they do shit like that and are in the ring. I'm just saying. Here's the thing. Here's the problem.
That's a move that she could have done at AEW a million times.
Yeah, and she did it in WWE, and what did she do? She fucks it up then if she got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's still...
Oh, I agree. I agree. I was thinking of you when that happened. I'm just looking at you and thinking of you laughing, smoking a cigar and going, you're fired!
It was minus the cigar, but yeah, it was fucking hysterical to me. And it was only because it was your girl. That was the funny part.
But she was trying to stand to her feet and walk it off, and they tried to give her a few spots, and she took a spot or two, and then she went back to the corner, and you could see Naomi trying to talk her through what to do next, which props to Naomi for being an in-ring veteran, because she was going to Naomi, and the two of them were trying to talk it out, and I'm like, that's why I like the Royal Rumble, because this is where we get to see who's over with the crowd, but also who is doing a good job as a veteran at keeping people safe.
Yeah. Right, and who still is green and needs help and needs to get developed, like Jade Cargill.
So So if we're gonna play by that rule and follow that line of thinking, we also need to say the same thing about Maxine Dupree.
Oh God, yeah.
So I just want to get it all out there. Yeah, like it, you know.
But she's also not the investment that Jade is, right? Maxine's
Correct.
lucky she's fucking still on the roster, that she didn't get cut because of that gimmick with the other guys.
Right.
Right. So the thing is that she works hard, she's talented,
Absolutely.
and she's going to learn. But she's still a manager right now. Right?
Absolutely. And I don't want to, make it sound like as if I'm talking shit about her. It's just it was noticeable, and thus, drawing a parallel.
Jade Cargill.
Can that shit be locked down? Yeah, absolutely. They both can get better with the seasoning, and quite honestly, with the Performance Center and the coaches that they have available to them, they'll be able to iron that stuff out in no time.
And yeah, and you're right. For all intents and purposes, yes, that's a shining example of why you would want to be in NXT. At the same time, here's the problem: you put her in mega spot land by throwing Nia Jax over. Nia Jax is not going down to NXT to have a match with Jade Cargill.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
That would be like going back in the day. Ken Griffey Jr. is a vet. Derek Jeter was a rookie. He didn't play so well, so Ken Griffey's going to go to a minor league game so he can challenge, fucking Derek Jeter as a rookie. No, he's not going to. You're going to make.
And Dolph Ziggler didn't go down there and win the fucking title at NXT. I'm just saying. Come on, dude. You just don't watch the product. You don't understand what the fuck they're doing down there. You don't understand that what they've been doing for the last year and a half is having veterans go down and work shit with.
Oh, I know they have done that, but maybe you could. Maybe you could have because what's her name? Nia Jax needs some training too. But my thing is like this. I'm going to approach it differently. What's being on that television show versus being on this television show at this point? If you said that she's the investment, if you said she's the strongest one, if you had her go and do spots with everyone on your main roster, I don't want to see her against Lyra Valkyria. I can't mentally get myself there. Make it make sense for me. If you're telling me that
again, the sense factor is that this is someone who right now is not associated on a show. Okay?
No, I get that.
So the sense factor is you use her in the Rumble because why? It's not a fucking full match she has to fucking do.
Right, but here's where I'll counter that. If you wanted her to chuck out Tegan Knox and 5 or 6 other mid-carders or NXTers and say, okay, look at what she did, and then as soon as Bianca Belair's music hits, she flicks her out, and you go, okay, no, you saved her strategically for the very end against Liv Morgan I'm sorry, my brain's blanking out right now. Bailey. And you made it like this fingernail biting end where now she is at the very end. You elevated her to some god level out of the gate. So that's my only pause.
So why the fuck would you not then build her up at another level? Because if you bring her now into the main roster, you can't have her beat those people yet. So you have her work against those mid-carders and beat them to build her into a position.
All right, let me ask you a question, and I'm asking this fairly. I think it's a fair question. So now Tuesday comes, you put her on NXT. How do you begin? Because she didn't fight any of those people in the Rumble. You didn't have her fight any of those people in the Rumble. You put her against the best day one. So now you're going to have her in there, and she's going to shit through those women. Like she did in AEW.
Sure. They could use the AEW push and run as a blueprint for her in NXT.
Right.
Like they could do literally the exact same fucking thing that they did in AEW with NXT.
So there are 700,000 people who watch AEW on a regular basis. Okay, fair enough, right? That is your base who knows who Jade Cargill is. if 700,000 people watch it, and of those people, most of them hate WWE anyway, so you say 400, 500,000 know who Jade Cargill is. All right. That means of the 2 million people who watch WWE, who the fuck is she? You have to establish who this person is, and you have to make sure she is good enough that if you elevate her to that level that you see her as, she is not going to totally shut the
So,
bed.
and what I will give you, what I will say is this: I don't. What you're saying is that which burns brightest burns out just as fast. You don't want to blow your load too fast, and then she's sloppy in the ring. She's not polished, what have you. My 10, and I can't get past this point. To me, it's an impassable wall. Is if you wanted her to burn through the middle of the Rumble people and then have her gated 2/3 in, great. That ties into a story you're building. But you didn't do that.
Rob, you missed the point. She entered number 28 for a reason. It's number 28. The fact of the matter is, she didn't have to work more than 15 minutes in that match, and it was.
She was in there for 11:33.
You're looking at it from the technical right. You're looking at it from perspective of they gave her a light duty or a light assignment, so to speak. Is that fair to say?
No, they gave her the absolute perfect assignment, which is get her in there at the right time to make her look strong, but not make her look weak enough where her flaws show. Cover it with the veterans around her, let her be guided, and give her enough exposure to make people go, who is that? I want to see more of her. That's it. You know who she is.
I get that.
Fan base doesn't. That's all. It's all. All it is patience, dude. You know, you're jumping. You're already hard and jumping to the last 30 seconds of the scene. Okay.
And but again, I understand what you're saying with the fact of, yes, you have other veterans, and you proved that with Naomi, guided her, great.
Yeah.
But you could have done that earlier than 28 to get that result. If that's all you cared about.
No, you couldn't, because then she goes out in the middle of the match and everyone forgets who the fuck that person is. But when you're one of the last people, that's why you remember, you go, she hung, like you said, she hung with Bayley and Liv Morgan. That is the point. The point is not that she threw out all these people. Kane has thrown out 9,000 fucking people over the years, and he never won a goddamn Rumble. And he's barely been the fucking heavyweight champion in that company. But what is he? He's a consistent worker. Same with Kofi, right? The reason that those guys have been around for so long and were so valuable in the company is because they are the elevation of other people around them. Okay, they can hold their own, but they also make other people look good. In Jade's case, you're building someone who is going to be not only a top person in your company, but a movie star.
Agreed. Again, and this comes down to how I view NXT and how they've presented NXT to their audience. And I will die on this hill. It's always been, and yes, you're right. Yes, you use it to build. I watch Lex.
I love when he freezes and it's not me.
Right? I was going to say.
Much better.
Now, the thing that is interesting, hypothetically, if Jade would be positioned in NXT to at least start.
I apologize. I flipped the internet.
No worries. I was just bringing up just one thing really quick. If they did position Jade in NXT, I found it interesting that 27 was Roxanne Perez, 28 was Jade, 29 was Tiffany Stratton. So It's like as if they had a little block of NXT women right there at the end before that number 30 reveal of Liv Morgan's return. So if that happens.
And I liked it all. I will just leave it with this, not to belabor it more, is, to me, and it always will be, NXT, it serves its purpose to your point, Matt, it does serve its purpose. I cannot get my brain, and I don't think I ever will be, able to get past the point of, I had you fight the best, now I'm sending you with the kids in the sandbox again. Yes, there's a strategic purpose for it, but from a visual standpoint, from a Mark standpoint of watching this as a fan, or even just watching you stare down the best, and now tomorrow I'm going to have you in there with the B and C players
But
again.
then she becomes the best.
I get the patience element of it, but you've already visually showed me something. I cannot visually then go back in the other direction. I can't.
Yeah,
It makes
and
sense,
no one
but-
gives a fuck.
Well, I give a fuck. I am just as much part of the viewing audience as anybody else, and it's half the people going, wait a minute, you just showed me her toss Nia Jax out of the ring. Is there a Nia Jax level wrestler?
And I am sure the CW is like, thank you. Because if she's going to be my marquee person on that fucking show, on that network,
Right.
guess what? The CW is going to be putting her on all their fucking television shows.
From the production standpoint of it, or behind the scenes standpoint, makes brilliant, perfect sense. Makes all the sense in the world. From the outside in watching it, you're going, wait, what? What? Because a lot of people are not going to.
So what about Tiffany Stratton? What about Roxanne Perez? What about every single one who was in that match? What about Jordan fucking Grace?
Yeah.
What does she do? She goes back to TNA, dude.
But hold on. Are you any way surprised that that I'm approaching it from this logic? You shouldn't be.
No.
You knew I was going to approach it from this logic.
Of course.
Because she and what did they do to reinforce my thinking? And they reinforced it big time. They shored it up with steel beams. They're like, oh yeah, we could even have you eliminate one or two good people and one or two bad people. No, we had you make a statement. There is nobody of that caliber unless you bring them. And the only way you can make it work is if you have Nia Jax go over to NXT and go, well, you've been hiding from me. Then I could get into it and I can go, all right, now you caught my interest.
What they'll do.
And if they do, God bless them if they do.
Unfortunately, Braun Breaker is fucked now. Good God. Oh, man. He should have never been used in the
Braun
Rumble.
Breaker started at NXT. This woman did not start anywhere. That was the problem.
That's the point. The point is she hasn't started anywhere, dude.
That is the point. That is the billion-dollar point was from day one, you've already put her in scene after scene after scene with everyone but NXT people. Everyone but the NXT people. You put her in NXT once where she sat in the throne, and we're like, okay, whatever. Because fuck NXT. It's boring half the damn time.
Steve, finish this off, please.
Can we talk about the...
Yeah, you knew it was coming. Anyways.
Yeah, cool. Can we talk about the men's Royal Rumble for just a couple of minutes?
Boring.
Yeah, it made Jade Cargill look fucking awful.
Right, yeah, God forbid. We can't talk about that shit.
No.
Really quick. And Steve, you brought up the men's, which just triggered this really quick. And this whole point about making people look this, that, or the other, R-Truth looked like a fucking moron then for going into the women's Rumble.
I was going to say that was one of my favorite fucking spots later on in the night with the hot tag.
Yes, of course.
Honestly, no one else could have gotten a fucking hot tag over in a Royal Rumble but our fucking Truth.
It was so funny.
The fact that R-Truth is doing some of the best character work right now in his career after all that he's accomplished.
50 years old.
Dude, it's crazy. But as far as the men's Rumble, the Pat McAfee spot. What the fuck? we got to at least talk about that. What the fuck? There were reports saying that he didn't know that it was going to be a thing. Whatever. We all know that that's probably them just trying to work the internet. But the fact is, I found it very interesting that they had him fill a spot, and then you had Dave Meltzer say that Braun Breaker took Brock Lesnar's spot in the Rumble itself. Now, something that I could firmly believe is that Brock Lesnar's spot in number went to Pat McAfee, but the other spots, the actual content of the match went to Braun Breaker because they're going to try to build him. The thing is, if we're going down this path too, something else that has to be mentioned just briefly and in passing, the response to a question at the press conference to Triple H, asking him about all the bullshit that happened, and we'll cover that in 3 count. We'll cover that in 3 count. But for him to say that he hadn't read it yet Brock Lesnar was long rumored to be in the match, and then he's not in the match, you have a really dodgy type of a situation with an announcer getting a spot in the match. I think that they could have played that situation a lot better than they did. But if those are the worst things to come out of this show, then quite honestly, they're doing all right, to say the fucking least. You know, let's focus on the positives, regardless of what product we're talking about.
But let's not act like they've never done the Lawler spot before.
Right. Oh, so, and that's the thing is Michael Cole was giving him shit on commentary about not lasting as long as he did. And I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done that spot. I think that it just came across very, very dodgy, just from somebody that hasn't followed the product in a decent amount of time.
The WrestleMania 39, Snoop Dogg in the ring with the Miz, and Snoop Dogg gets kind of a command on the fly, and he knocks the Miz out one punch. Great on the fly response to a situation where Shano's not able to do what he needs to do. Pat McAfee walked into the ring, shocked. He stood down Omos and was like, "What the hell?" And Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
And I just went, you know what? This looks ridiculous. Would I like to have seen him do some sort of a move? No. But then he went in the ring. He went out the ring. It was entertaining. It did what it needed to do. It filled up an entire segment. It filled up an entire count. Can we call that like an interval or a count? And, okay. That was one of those scenarios where you'll remember it for being just goofy.
And don't forget, it's Pat McAfee. So therefore, tomorrow,
yep, it's going to get a shitload of press. Absolutely, yeah, it's going to be everywhere on ESPN and everything.
Yeah, talked about it on his show. So that's yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And the other thing too is, listen, sure, Brock Lesnar might have been rumored, you know, of course, but at the same time, we don't fucking know. We don't know the truth because Brock is one of those guys who at the last minute is just like, fuck it. I don't want to do this. They might not have had a contract with him in place.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm going to trust that idea more than Dave Meltzer fucking saying anything.
Can we also just approach this from the logic of we knew what ending we were going to get more or less. So what was going to happen in the middle is filler. I wanted the middle to be a little bit more entertaining because, again, it's the gauge where all of your other talent is at, and I felt like we didn't get there.
But at the same time, you know, everyone who bitches about no surprises. First off, you have a huge roster that actually is solidified, right? These are the moments that you realize that they don't need fucking surprises because they have so much fucking talent that you want to see, you know, you have to get these guys in there. The other thing that is very interesting is no one mentioned Andrade. And Andrade, that was fucking great. He looked like a motherfucking star.
He did. And I think if I could sit there and we could talk about it ad nauseum, that name would have come up eventually. But and by the way, the aforementioned future female superstar excluded, even if she wasn't in that female Royal Rumble, I like the women's Royal Rumble still better. I still liked it. For all the other reasons you mentioned, by the way, which I agree with you, it was good. The men's was not as electrifying. The first two with the two Usos in the ring, I just felt like, I don't know, I was waiting for the commentary team to say something to kind of sew that storyline in as they're discussing it. and they kind of just got lost in the shuffle, the two Usos. Maybe that was my feeling. I don't know what you guys think. It started off like, whoa, and then they kind of got lost in the shuffle as it went further on.
Yeah, I mean, they gave them the spotlight when they had the match to themselves. Obviously they're wanting to put over as many people as they possibly can. So the fact that they didn't revisit it, I can see where, you might have a little bit of a qualm with it. I do have to mention the score bug or timer that they had up in the corner of the screen that showed the time that multiple people had been in the match. Please continue to do that. That gave a much more sports-like feel. It just illustrated that numbers actually matter and that context matters in the match. So very good job on that. The thing that stands out is, I think that if you look at the entrance, it was pretty interesting. You had a couple of Raw names mixed in the top 13, but the top 13 was almost exclusively SmackDown guys. And then you had from spots 14 on, they were almost all Raw. Obviously, you had Braun from NXT at 20. You had Omos, who's not on a brand, and then you had Pat McAfee. But yeah, everyone from spot 14 on was Raw. And I that kind of stuff stands out to me. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more.
Make a side note to that.
Yeah.
An addendum. They had him come out with MVP. Do we read into that, or do we just let it be?
I mean, if Omos is going to be out there, he's going to need MVP to talk for him. He's going to need a handler. He's going to need somebody that continues to get him over.
Because was MVP ringside when Omos was in the Rumble? I don't remember seeing MVP past bringing him up to the. So that's what I'm wondering. Does that mean MVP is back?
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, he like I said, I think that MVP should be the one to cut the promos for Omos.
Yeah.
Don't let Omos cut his own promos.
I'm still a fan of the Hurt Business. I liked where they were going. I think I think they got cut down too soon. But that aside, the portions were good. There just wasn't the excitement factor when Kofi Kingston just got ejected normally. I was kind of like, because that became the new thing that they were doing each year. And then I guess because he flubbed it last season, they were like, no, we don't need to do this again. And I was really looking for Xavier Woods. Did he wrestle before then and I missed it? Because Xavier Woods would have been entertaining. But no Sasha Banks that evening. No Sasha Banks.
Take from that what you will.
Yeah. Guess if you didn't hear, contract negotiations didn't go so well. She wants Charlotte money.
Now, with all fairness, they said right before CM Punk came in that contract negotiations had stalled as well. So they obviously were using that as a red herring for Punk. So I could understand why so many people were looking for Sasha Banks to show up even after those reports came out.
We have CM Punk isn't in Star Wars.
Dude, so I'll tell you, I think that you could tell that crowd was definitely more behind CM Punk at the start, but then they turned, and it was a very interesting kind of duality that they've been doing with Cody and Punk, and there was a lot of people were assuming that Punk was going to win the Rumble. And quite honestly, he was my pick. Not who I wanted to win, but who I thought would win.
He's not what we wanted. He's what we needed.
Whether you know it or not.
I will say this. What I hated about having a World Heavyweight Championship is something that I liked. When they kept showing Roman Reigns and then panning over, and now you've got Seth Rollins, and you're like, well, which one does he pick? And you're seeing their reaction throughout the night as the Royal Rumble's unfolding. Love it. Absolutely love it. Paul Heyman is one of the greatest managers of all damn time because he keeps reinventing himself. Just staring at Roman Reigns, and you could see that this is what we should be feeling as if we're Roman Reigns. This is the feeling that's going on in Camp Reigns and that tribe and that village, that there is anxiety as this match is, as this whole Royal Rumble is progressing. And we keep going and looking at the look on Paul Heyman's face throughout the night, the bags under his eyes. He is such a fucking incredible actor. He does so much for Roman Reigns without even speaking.
Absolutely.
And that added to the Rumble. But then when we got back into the ring, there was something missing. There was an energy missing. But I don't know. Maybe they needed to shuffle people around a little bit. I do like how when Gunther came, Ludwig Kaiser is just assed out in the corner, just breathing heavily. So we know now on Monday he's going to get his head punched in for that. No Giovanni Vinci. Don't know if he's still got some ring rust or he's got some, stingers going on from that concussion he suffered a few weeks earlier. But yeah, I did like it. I would give the men's a B+. I would give the women's an A.
I wouldn't give the men's a B+. I would say it's B- ish. But the women's, I would put at a B+ to an A-. I think that it was definitely the better of the two. And yeah, as far as the other matches, I talked a little bit about that 4-way, but the Logan Paul Kevin Owens match, I mean, again, predictability. The right guy won. The right guy won. I get what they were going for. But just
I thought when he threw the knucks out, because he waves his hand, watch, it looks like he gets rid of the knucks, and then I watch, I'm like, of course, because Logan Paul has to lose that belt or retain it during WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, I think that match is set up for LA Knight. I think that you do LA Knight versus Logan Paul at Mania, and
I agree.
you just take that right to the bank for sure.
No problem. You got no argument. I would have given LA Knight either that belt or the Intercontinental, but it would make more sense for them with their personalities and styles for him to be with Logan Paul. That works so much better.
It also makes sense because they're both on SmackDown. So.
Oh, that's right. Duh. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yes. Yeah. Sorry.
I guess one of the final thoughts is that when you look at, I love that everyone kind of points out predictability.
Able to place call on your Bluetooth phone.
And speaking of predictability, Rob, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. The idea that things are predictable. The problem is that you're already mapping out WrestleMania storylines. So there's no real reason to have too many unpredictable moments. And if you look at the Rumble in past history, there have been some, but for in all honesty, as they've built throughout the years and WrestleMania has become what it's become, it's less of surprises and more of the anticipation now of building these matches from now until, I think it was 70 days is what they said. So, we're going to be at 69 days today.
Nice.
So, yeah, I know you'd like that one. So, that's the whole thing is that the map is already being written, right? The stories, this is the first year, if you think about it, or maybe even going back to last year with the idea of Cody's quote unquote story, that they're actually talking about CM Punk's story.
Everyone's got a story.
Everyone's got a story, right?
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing now. It's like we're kind of reminding you that it's not about wrestling. It's about the story. This is about the journey. And you want to see Cody succeed. You want to see, can Punk and Rollins, well, we want to see if Rollins can go. But what happens between those guys who have bad blood, right? It's not now based around, oh, the Undertaker is going to win another match, the streak has to continue. It's based upon what they've been doing, and I think that Hunter, he laid out the game plan. He clearly stated that the idea now is not Vince's crash booking, that I feel like I want to do this, that, or the other, but that I want to, that we're going to have longer longevity of storytellings and whatnot. So it's interesting to see that this is kind of the new way of making things last, telling more in-depth stories, not just, and yeah, okay, it gets frustrating. Oh, he's still winning all the time. We're seeing this guy do this all the time. That guy only does this all the. You're gonna get that, right? Luke Skywalker never fucking changed the character in the years he was the main character of the fucking movie. The difference is that you weren't watching that fucking story every single week on end, over and over and over, right? You just got X amount of hours of that story. And so I think people get fed up with shit easier and upset easier because we have this stupid little device that allows us to say shit nowadays. So it should be very interesting to see where they go. We already know what's going to happen in terms of the big matches, right? But now, do we see Bayley versus Io?
Oh, definitely, without question.
We're gonna see probably, Bayley, team with maybe Naomi and whoever else against.
Jade's got it right. Nobody should go.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guess what?
WrestleMania.
I'm going to go to WrestleMania and become Jade Cargill's manager.
Oh God.
That'd be awesome.
I wish someone would put you out of your misery, Rob. In some way, in any sense. I don't care how or what or where or when. I also love the fact that Charmaine thought that MJF was going to be number 30.
I tried telling people that MJF wasn't showing up, but no one would fucking listen.
Well,
no one would fucking listen.
Yeah, no, there was not going to be MJF, and I thought, because we all were at, we were all at the TNA match, and we saw, Monet, and we saw Bayley there in all black, and we're like, oh, this is it. This is it. It's Mercedes Monet and Bayley. They're just showing us now that they're going to just all magically team together and be a trio and take on Damage Control with and nope. Didn't happen.
Nope.
Not enough Beskar armor.
But again, when you're demanding money like Charlotte Flair and you're Sasha Banks, they don't equal the same fucking thing. I think that she's smart. If she took the AEW money, fucking brilliant. Take it, because maybe you can make a difference. Or at the very least, you made the fucking money that you think you're worth, because that idiot will give fucking Rob that kind of money to be part of the show.
I'll come out dressed up like Trump. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I'll be Rob Rump.
Or you know what? You start working on the Tony Khan impersonation, and maybe we could get you in at the WWE.
You know what the funny thing is? All I can imagine is eyes bugged out and just stare right into the camera like he doesn't go, okay, guys, this is going to be an incredible show.
Look, dude, all we need to do is get you a goddamn
get the hair.
It's fucking great.
Wembley Arena has 80,000 people. Now is the time to get your tickets and be part of the revolution. Right, Mr. Shivani?
Dude, seriously, invest in a TK wig.
Yeah, seriously, you could do Phil Spector and TK at the same time.
Charmaine likes saying ding dong. She likes doing the retro Bailey thing. What is Bailey's gimmick now besides being like the mom, like the den mom of all the young girls, or the girls who are, vertically challenged?
The Asian squad?
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I mean, she is the den mom of the Asians, if you look at it. No, really,
Got a
that's
little
what
translator. I mean, this is the most obscene.
we're about to find out what Bailey's character is. I mean, I think that's the whole thing. Is it's the transition. So we'll see. And when I say transition, it doesn't mean she's going through menopause. Rob, who the fuck's walking in the fucking back of your place? Random old men walking around your house? What is going on?
Yep. Usually I've got the whole anyway.
Or you have a backdrop up, but this is great.
My backdrop is somebody else's home.
Yeah, well, I hope we don't see anyone walking around without any pants on or something.
Yeah. Usually I got the green screen. I had seconds. I'm never closing on a Sunday night again, I'll tell you that much. Fucking had
no, please close more on Sundays.
I will say this. Next Sunday I will be not here at all. I will be performing at Carl and Martin's at around 7:00. I will be in Henderson at Carl and Martin's.
All right. So anyone who's in Henderson, make sure you're out of the town. And
look at this fucker trying to tell jokes.
yeah, trying. Right. And
no, I know I can't write jokes. That's why I impersonate other people.
or have random people walking in the background. I think that's brilliant. You hire your extras to walk around. So that's beautiful. All right. So that's kind of the thoughts on the Rumble. And also 90 minutes on Jade Cargill.
I gave 20 impassioned minutes on that, and then you spent 70 telling me I'm a fuckhead.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
You're lucky we didn't tell you were a fuckhead 3 minutes in. We gave you 20 minutes.
No shit.
So that's it for the Rumble. We are about to jump over to 3 Count to talk the firing of Vince McMahon. The Rock.
Do you think they had him on like tape, like one of those little push button like sound effects, like "You're fired"? Oh, sorry, sir. You're fired. We always wanted to
play the drop.
You're fired.
No, they got his buddy to call him.
Oh my god.
What did that sound like? That phone call that was made to Vince from his friend who was a former president of the United States.
You know what? It's so hard to do this. Actually, it's hard to do this. I do this a lot for a lot of people. And you're gone. You've been terminated. You've been fired. You cannot go back to the office with the dinosaur. It's gone. We took it off the wall. We threw it in the garbage. It's gone. Dinosaurs aren't even a real thing, okay? I don't know if anyone told you this, okay? Real sad that nobody told you that. Not a thing, all right? It wasn't ever a thing. There were no dinosaurs on the ark, okay? They told me that at the evangelical church. No dinosaurs were on the ark, okay? So not a thing. So not only were you stupid, but you were horny and stupid, okay? I always had them sign the NDA. Do you know what NDA stands for? Not Donald's account, okay? All right, get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh, my God. Dave, this is your first time hearing Rob's Trump. Yeah, he's been doing Trump.
American Bam Bam. Nobody likes you. You should go back to where you came from. Canadian Bam Bam. He's not good enough to be an American Bam Bam, okay? He's not good enough to be an American Bam Bam. You know what? We're going to send him back to Little Mexico. He could be a little Mexican Bam Bam, okay? Bam Bam de los Mexicos, okay? Goodbye.
Oh, my God. Hey, Final thought, Mr. Trump. As former president of the United States, you made America great again. How now, since the takeover endeavor of the WWE, how would you make the WWE great again?
First things first, we have to have in the WWE Hall of Fame a wing dedicated to its most prominent champion and Hall of Famer, Donald J. Trump. J stands for Jesus the Savior. Donald J. Trump, we made WWE great again. And now that Vince is fired, look what happened. The WWE network is no more. So sad. The little WWE network. If that was the WWE network, the Trump Wrestling Network, it would have been the biggest televised show. It would have been premium deluxe live events. Okay, premium deluxe live events. And by the way, never ever has there been a champion who has held the belt longer than Donald J. Trump. In fact, I've held the belt longer than Ricky Steamboat, even longer than Ric Flair. Okay, I'm the Nature Boy. Donald Trump, and no one's had the belt. I've had 17 championships, one more than Ric Flair. You didn't know this. You didn't know this. I beat Sugar Lips, okay, before he was even Hulk Hogan. I beat him in the Rocky movies. Okay, Terry Bollea. I beat Terry Bollea. All right. Terry Bollea. Beat him. I beat him so many times he got tired of being beaten. That's why he changed his name to Hulk Hogan. That's why he's Hulk Hogan, because I beat him so many times. It's true. It's true. Beat him and we beat him bigly. And with the WWE and it's going to come out, the new Trump Wrestling Network, we're going to make billions and billions and billions of dollars. It's going to be more billions than you've ever seen. Believe it.
Oh my God. When DJ Impact comes back next week, unfortunately, Rob won't be here for DJ to hear all these wonderful stories.
DJ Impact, he spent $5,000 on a shitty Perillo cruise. He got lost somewhere in the Mediterranean. He's not been heard from since. It's so sad. So sad.
Will you send SEAL Team 6 in to find him, sir?
No, we're not sending him. Come on, he's garbage. Come on, get him out of here. Wait, we dropped him off in some shithole country. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Okay.
Oh man. All right. So we will be talking Vince and The Rock and everything that's happened this week in the WWE and what it means going forward on 3 Count. Again, if you're listening on the podcast, tune in tomorrow. Otherwise, join us here in just a few minutes. And thank you all for tuning in and putting up with Rob's obsession over Jade Cargill. And
that's going to be my future wife, mother of my kids. I'm going to find a way.
Well, usually that means, sticking your penis in.
Be like, well, yeah. It'll be like Napoleon Dynamite, where like the nerd white guy had that hot black chick. It'll be like that. Be perfect.
Jesus. LaFonda, wasn't that the character?
Yeah.
I've got a do-rag, I'll make it work.
Jesus Christ.
Steve, it's okay. He can say it because, he's half.
I spit in the cup. They tell me I'm half black.
Yeah.
Spit in the cup. One mouth, one cup. I love that video from 2007.
That was a different movie. I wasn't in that one.
We could. American Bam Bam says we could be twins. We could. We really could.
By the way, we're the same height.
Yeah, we probably are. Because when we stood next to each other, neither of us could see the reflection off the top of our heads.
Yep.
So I think that means we're eye level, right?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, this is a bitch. He's fast as fuck. Who is it that you saw and you went darting after him? Oh, you saw Rusev Day. You saw
I saw Aiden English for WWE.
You saw Aiden English, and you were like, oh shit, I know him. I want to talk to him. I'm like, it looks like he's got some, and you were like, you were gone, man. You Speedy Gonzalez your way over there. I was very impressed. Well,
I Speedy Gonzalez that way because I thought I was standing next to Donald Trump for a second there. Motivation to
Excuse me,
get
sir,
away.
You do not know when you are standing next to greatness. This is true. This is
All
true.
right. Let me just go on and let you do this for 2 hours.
You got to pay for that. If you want to see that, you got to go to San Diego. I'll be there on the 3rd. Dates to be club. Was a club to be announced.
A club to be announced. I
I
love
know,
that place. That's one of the best
get the
places in San
place,
Diego to see a show.
Steve,
I think I'm gonna
comedy.
I think I'm gonna send Steve down. Pay for your plane ticket to go down there and just heckle him for fucking 3 hours.
I'm down. I'm down. Fuck it. I'll do it.
My ultimate goal is to have a couple of my friends who were in the Marines just serve as my bodyguards. I'm going to dress them up in black suits. Everyone does try to fucking heckle me. They'll beat the shit out of them. It'll be great.
But the thing is, you don't have any friends.
Oh, well, Donald Trump doesn't, but I know people.
And why, you racist, do they have to be black suits?
Those are some of the very best people. Some of them are good people. But a lot of the black shirts are lazy. They don't come in on time.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, on that note, everyone, happy wrestling, everybody.